Some locations hold on to their history so tightly that the dead refuse to leave. Tonight's guest has spent years walking into those places, cameras rolling, evidence mounting, and asking the questions most investigators never stop to answer. Not just what is haunted here, but why. And in South Jersey, the answers run deeper than most people realize. Welcome back to the Common Historian. My guest tonight is a paranormal investigator, team member of the Jersey Unique Minds Paranormal Society, and host of Paranormal Unearthed from Bridgeton, New Jersey, Robert Earl White. So grab your favorite beverage, dim the lights, and prepare to journey into the world where history refuses to stay buried. Welcome, Robert. How are you tonight?
Hello, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to have an awesome chat with you tonight about all things paranormal.
Oh, yes, I'm excited as well. I guess to get started, how did you get into paranormal investigations and what made it kind of stick?
Oh, that's a loaded question, but to keep it brief, I was born here in South Jersey in a small town called Lower Alloways Creek. I was born in 1987. My whole entire life, it's been paranormal encounters, but the first big one was April 21st, 1991, when my family had a UFO crash behind our house. And so much more came along with that. When I was a child, when I was a baby, I had a teddy bear, one of the teddy bears where you squeeze the hands and it would play a song. My great grandmother that bought it for me when I was born, she died when I was two. And so the problem was it was my favorite bear. And I was only like 2, 3 years old. And as I was sleeping, I would roll over on it and the music would start going off and wake me up in the middle of the night. And my mom got tired of dealing with that. So my mother took the 9-volt battery out of the teddy bear and she said, there, he can have the teddy bear, but it won't go off. For multiple nights, that bear kept on going off with no batteries in it. So that's when I was like 2 or 3. I was 3.5 years old when the UFO crashed behind my house. And from that point on, my entire life, I don't know if I have gifts or anything like that. I don't know what to call them, but it seems like I can be a magnet sometimes for the strangest phenomena. I've had encounters with cryptids that I've recorded, things of that nature. And right now, with Paranormal Unearthed, which is my production, my YouTube channel, Paranormal Unearthed, unearthing the paranormal, what's left behind, finding it. Everyone has a story to tell, whether they are living or dead. And what we really try to do is not just tell the stories of the dead, but we really emphasize on the owners, the experiencers, the people, and their personal phenomena. We've really been working hard to put more attention to the people having the phenomena and then trying to get whatever that phenomena is to be able to share its story. We're honoring the living and the dead. We do all sorts of things, and that's my own little production. Then I'm a team member of Jumps, Jersey Unique Minds Paranormal Society, and my great friend Doug Hogate Jr. He's the founder. They have been investigating since 2008. Doug Hogate Jr., he's been on Ghost Nation with the guys from Ghost Hunters, all that. He's done a lot of publications. He investigated the Jerry Springer stage and NBC studios up in Connecticut, did work at Pennhurst, all sorts of things since 2008. And he's a great writer. Back in November, we clicked. We just hit it off. And then he invited me to go on an investigation. And he's been with me, and I'm investigating with Jersey Unique Minds Paranormal Society as well. So their team does investigations. I film for them. I make the episodes. I do all that good stuff. So between Paranormal Unearthed, where I just drag one or two people, it's more intimate, we have the team and we're doing all sorts of projects. So it's just constantly investigation. We've been to a lot of awesome places so far. We have a lot of awesome places booked for the future that we cannot wait to get into. And we do a lot of events, public free events, charitable events, things like that. We're both doing ghost tours. We have the Salem County Spirits in Bloom bus tour. Like we're doing a bus tour, getting a big thing,
Oh,
going around to all the haunted places within the one county, talking about the history, letting people go inside, all that cool stuff. And yeah, that's a big part of what we do is just really connecting to the communities and investigating here. And every now and then, Paranormal Unearthed, we're all over the place. I'll go to upstate New York, I'll go other places I have set up, but really we're just focusing in the tri-state area, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, and all that good stuff. And there's a lot of history here. And in our area, all the factories are shut down. The places have just got lost and left behind. And in a place where all you have left are ghost stories of the remnants of what everything used to be, let's embrace that. Let's tell that story because it's important, it has value. And in the process of doing that and using the flag of paranormal, it piques the interest of people to come in so they can learn the value of the history, which is the number one thing, in my opinion, when it comes to the paranormal. Before every investigation, we do a deep dive in that history because it helps when you have an idea of who you are communicating with. Obviously, the
yeah.
more you know, the more the evidence you get will make sense. Yeah, you can go into a place blind and have feelings, but when you know a Jacob Edwards lived there back in 1806, and then you have evidence or EVP that says Jacob Edwards, it makes it
You can
that,
connect the dots.
yeah, you can connect it and it's amazing. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. I love the paranormal community. I've been parts of other online communities and stuff, and I have to say, I just love this community. I'm going to Paracon at Pennhurst Asylum, Paracon
Oh, nice.
2026. Everyone's going to be there, and I'm really looking forward to just saying what's up to everyone and hanging out. It's going to be like the biggest paranormal block party on planet Earth. So I'm super stoked about that. And I've got a lot of different things planned. Actually, I'm sitting in my car right now. I should probably answer this. So people are like, man, this guy's a jerk. He don't even have the respect to sit in his studio with his fancy microphone. Jersey Unique Minds Paranormal Society, Doug and I, we were called by someone that I can't say who it was. It's an
Yeah.
active place, and it's a great honor to be able to investigate it, but it has to be off the books, unfortunately. So we can't film, we can't record, but it's some really respected people in the community that has a very important job, and we are being called out there to try to help them get some answers. This all came out of them on their security cameras recording objects being thrown around and stuff like that. Although they can't let the whole world know that we're coming in there investigating, they really want to get some answers. And that's what we do. Not everything we do, it's about helping people, not so much making awesome YouTube videos, because I'm the man that does all the editing, the filming. I can make slamming YouTube videos. But at the end of the day, it's about helping the living and helping the past. I don't
Yeah.
even like to say the dead because sometimes they feel very much alive. I feel like we got to come up with a different word. Spirits.
Yeah.
Spirits. They're very
Spirits. Yeah.
alive. But yeah, it's super excited. So that's why I'm sitting in my car. And yeah, Paranormal Unearthed, that's what we're doing. And we have a bunch of different things. So for everyone watching, you can find the YouTube channel, Paranormal Unearthed. I'm sure I'll have a link in the
Yeah.
description.
Yeah.
And
I will.
while you're watching this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the
Yeah.
Common Historian. He has great content. He has a better brain up there than most. And I just love hearing his wisdom because he does one thing that I really value and appreciate. You ask questions. I hate people that just give answers. I hate it. It's so egotistical, right? It's so like narcissism, stuff like that, because every strange thing I've ever encountered in my life, I never had answers for it. I only had thousands of questions. Every time I saw something with my own eyes, felt something, this or that, I never had the answer to what exactly it was. I just had all of these questions. That's my favorite thing about the paranormal. The questions, like how
There's
I say it all the time when activities happen. And I'm like, how is this even possible? What,
yeah,
what's going like I'm hopefully skeptic. Like I act like a stone cold believer because I am a believer, but at the same time in my brain I always got that skeptic in the
yeah,
back. And like sometimes we've caught great compelling activity happening around us and like I just automatically debunk it. And then like when I get home and I watch the footage and stuff, I'm like, "Oh, I was wrong. That wasn't someone kicking that over. That thing fell on its own. That happened in Wildwood Sanitarium in Salamanca, New York. We had something. I swore the guy I was investigating, I swore his foot hit the doll in the, it's an animated doll on a rocker, a little horse rocker. And I swore his foot hit it, but we had it on film. And when we watched the film, his foot was like that far away from this thing. And but
yeah,
in real time, I ruined the moment. I'm like, dude, you hit it. I didn't effing hit it. I'm like, yeah, you did, bro. You had to, because I couldn't fathom. I couldn't believe there would be enough energy that I couldn't see with my own eyes to manipulate an object and move it like
yeah,
that with that
yeah,
much force. I don't understand it, even though I believe it. I believe in the paranormal and I could get scientific of how that could be. But at the end of the day, I'm still like in that, this ain't real. You gotta be kidding me. But our investigation style, it's very different. Some teams, it's all about the fear high and all that stuff, shock value, running at the door, crashing. We just don't do that. Another thing, we are not people that go into places and the evil demons, all that stuff. We that's not our ballpark.
yeah.
I've never encountered a demon. I would say the closest thing to a demon I've ever encountered were human beings. So just throwing that out there, I've never encountered anything of true. Not saying that it's not out there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I haven't experienced that. And I've learned when you respect the spirits you're dealing with, regardless of what they've done or who they were, you just show respect, you actually get a lot more out of it. Instead of calling an old innocent grandmother that passed away, instead of calling her a demon, just honoring and valuing, you can get more flies with honey.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I can really relate. Like I mentioned earlier before we started recording that I lived in a haunted house for 2 years,
And
and
where
I
was
saw
that?
it's in very northern New York, on the border of Canada, New York.
Okay. My aunt
And
lives on Lake Champlain.
oh, Lake Champlain. Okay, yeah. So I'm about 45 minutes from Lake Champlain.
Okay. Yeah. My
So
my
that's
family's
how.
from upstate New York.
So I don't live there anymore, and actually the house has been torn down
Oh,
since then. But I saw multiple times, like you were saying, don't call your little old grandmother a demon. I have seen a little old lady multiple times when I lived there.
oh wow.
She's one of the many spirits that was in the house, but full body apparition.
Yeah.
I saw her at least three times that I can
And it is
recall.
rare to see a full body. I've seen full bodies more times than once, but it's really a rare
It
occurrence.
is
That's
rare, and
quite
that's why
quite incredible.
I like I'll be going on my first investigation next month, but I've already seen a full body apparition, and I saw a lady in white, the same place, but upstairs in the house I lived in. But I actually thought one of the times I saw her, I thought my wife's grandmother lived with us. I walked in and really thought it was her, and it wasn't. She was in the
Oh wow.
bathroom.
Oh wow. Wow.
So
Just doing what she would have done, you
yeah,
know?
I was shocked because my daughter was only little, and she was in her crib sleeping, and when I walked in to check on her, I saw a little old lady, and I swore it was my wife's grandmother. And
What was the little old lady? Was it looking at the baby?
yeah, she was looking at the baby. And when I
That's blood.
oh, no, but
Family.
her my sh no, actually, it was my wife's grandmother was living still. She was in the bathroom. She
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
yeah, it was actually this was I believe it was one of the former owners.
Okay.
There was a couple that lived there, and when I looked into the history, I believe it was that, but I swore it was her, and it wasn't. She was in the bathroom. She had and it was
She just
crazy.
kind of looked a little similar to your
Yes.
grandmother
I
that's there.
walked in, I
Yep.
was like, "Oh, grandma, you're checking on Jazzy, my daughter?" And when I got, like, into the room itself, there was no one there.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
It was
And I can tell you, I can count on my hand the times I've seen full body apparitions. But when you do see them, you remember where, what, and when very well.
oh, yes. That's I'm like, I've seen at least that little old grandmother I saw multiple times, at least 2
and
or 3
and
times.
this was throughout your childhood, right?
No, it was about 20 plus years ago. My daughter was a baby,
Okay.
she's in her 20s now, and it was over a 2-year period.
Okay.
And it wasn't the only thing in the house. There was multiple other things that was happening. It was right next to one of the oldest cemeteries in the town,
Okay.
and the Catholic church was right there as well. I believe that some of the stuff was coming from the graveyard as well. It's not like they on TV where we were running out of the house scared to death. This
It's
was
not paranormal activity. Is
no,
yeah.
yeah, they were there. We heard them sometimes. It wasn't constant, and we actually got used to it after a while.
Yeah.
If you can get used to that,
And it
we
becomes
like
a point where it's
coexisting.
just I was just about to say coexistence. And
It's
yeah, and to bring uh our last investigation up, I would like to talk about that because we just
yep,
got done our previous investigation that is available right now to watch on Paranormal Unearthed was at Cottage 621 in Horseheads, New York. And let me tell you, this place was wild. A lot of wild stuff. It's really cool. It's an Airbnb. The owners bought it thinking they could have a vacation house and visit their daughter and rent it out while they're down in Louisiana. It was built in the 1950s. No significant history to it. The land was significant, but no, the house, nothing crazy. And from day one, when they got this Airbnb, they were fixing it up. Contractors were running out, refusing to go back, leaving open cans of paint and scooting. Eventually, when they got things fixed up, people would rent the whole place for a week. They would leave in the morning after the first night. People that work there, all the teams, and like you go there, it just looks like a cozy modern house, 1950s, but remodel. It looks nice. You get inside, you're like, this ain't haunted. I swear to you. It was like that. And Friday night, we didn't have really anything happen. Very minor. We had very minor, quick activity, but nothing happened. But Saturday night, we were told they love music. So we put on music and the investigator that suggested that to me, I'm so glad they did because I have an old Spirit wind up toy box.
yeah,
It's a truck, like a copper truck, no electronics, no nothing. The second we cranked that on, the rest of the night, it was like, woo! I was like, I'd be darned, but that was really cool. But I just wanted to say that because New York, we were talking about New York. But
yeah,
Tuesday night, we were called out by a local chainsaw artist known as Ack Monster. And his name is Brian Ackley, former Marine. Okay, still a Marine. And yeah, does amazing work in the area, like mind blowing chainsaw artwork in people's yards, turning a 7-foot stump into a giant bear or something like that. He's really talented. But
wow,
we were called out because we had a mutual friend, and prior about 3 weeks before doing the investigation, he had his grandson there, and they've always known stuff was there. And there's many ghost stories that have came with the property as well, and I'll explain more. But his grandson was there, and he saw a woman in a white dress.
Mm.
Same
Yep,
same
I've seen
thing.
one of those before.
And he was younger, he was a kid, you know exactly what it is, but it alarmed him like, all right. And he was telling my friend, and my friend was like, yo, my buddy Rob, he does paranormal investigations. I went over there that day. We clicked it off. Awesome guy, burly country boy, really cool. Now, it's the Ackley Farmhouse. It was built in 1840. The Ackley family bought it in 1886. Brian Ackmonster, the guy that caught us out, he's the fifth generation to live in that house.
Oh,
Prior was his Aunt Lillian, who was born in the front room of the house, lived 96 years in that house, and she passed away in the back room. And Brian was her caregiver. He was there
well,
till the end.
yeah.
So a lot of the activity kind of was around that. But when he got the place, with it being five generations, it came with its own ghost stories. The reports of a little child being seen tossing a ball up and down, reports of woman apparitions only from the waist up, so many other strange little anomalies and stuff like that. So we went into this investigation, and I got there early. I was just setting out my equipment on a table, and they were just showing me. I was getting re-familiar with the place, and they brought out a bunch of really cool historical pictures and stuff like that. They
Oh,
brought them out because they wanted us to see it, to document. And they didn't realize by doing that, it like kicked up the activity in the house. As she was saying, come in here and look in this 2 rooms down the hallway, a giant basket with glass in it flips out and breaks all over the place. And we're like, no cameras rolling or nothing. We were downstairs talking about Aunt Lillian, and then a cabinet to the left of us starts going crazy and shaking as if like glass is breaking inside of it. And we're like,
mm,
what is this? And she's like, that was Aunt Lillian's cabinet. That was her cabinet. And then the five
mm,
generations, all the local area and all the history and actual artifacts, people's chairs, razors, desk, all that, the furniture, it's from five generations. Like, and then other notable families in the area, because it was a highly successful potato farm during the Great Depression. They had everything they need, and having potatoes during the Great Depression is equivalent to having TP during the pandemic.
mm, yeah,
Potatoes were cheap. You can make a lot of things of them. And the potato family, the culture
yeah.
here was just used to eating potatoes. This place, the architecture, mind blowing. The old pipes going for the kerosene lamps that they had a fully operational farm and wood mill and a lot of other stuff. Amazing history. And we get the whole place up. We're ready to investigate. And we made a last second decision because they're like, where do you guys want us to go and stuff? I'm like, if you're up for it, you can just sit in here and just investigate with us. I wasn't thinking, I just didn't know. It was chilly last night. I didn't know where they would go and all that. And I'm like, I don't see why it would hurt. Just let them. Best decision I ever did. So we filmed this whole investigation, and most of the time it's Brian, the owner, the fifth generation, talking about the house, talking about the ancestors, having multiple ancestors come through, not just the many that died and passed away in that house. Ones that died and passed away that lived like 2 miles down the road were coming through. Like names
Wow.
that we had no idea of were coming out. And like back to back, we had the name of his aunt. And then we were so blown away. Aunt. He said, Aunt, I forget the name. I'm still working on the episode. And then right after that, through a different device, the spirit portal, scanning Reyes stations, the name Caroline, I believe, came out. And that was that aunt's daughter's name. so weird. And we were like, did they die here? Did they pass away? No, 2 miles up the road. So really strange. And, sometimes we're so used to going into these places empty and we're filming and we're trying to communicate with what is there. But really having the people with a fifth generation connection to that property, having someone there and he was actively talking, we weren't leading the investigation. I was just letting things happen naturally. And he was
Yeah.
just sharing the history. And at one point on the SLS camera, we had a figure come up and give him a hug. And after that, like I said, former Marine and everything, and he was crying. He was crying,
Wow.
bawling his eyes out. And I don't think he's a guy that cries much, but
Yeah.
especially having that emotional connection with his aunt that he took care of, that and other ancestors that he misses so much, or he's heard stories about them his whole life. And as stuff was unfolding, like that's what it was. It was so beautiful. It wasn't scary. It wasn't terrifying. And even though it was an accident, I didn't do it all intentionally, but
Yeah.
that's what's so good about it. It's so authentic and raw and not perfect and beautiful all into one. And I'm like, after the investigation, I was like, holy crap, dude, we just did something truly unique. We just did a paranormal investigation where it's heartwarming, uplifting,
Yeah.
positive. What name one paranormal you show that you've seen where it was like that?
Yeah.
You
There's
know,
not, I don't think there's any that I can think of.
we were all saying it was literally like a paranormal family reunion. I've never experienced that. Yeah, we've had people let us investigate, but people leave or it's a business. They shut up and we have the place so we can hear and stuff. I've never had the people, and let alone even if you do find someone living in a house that has paranormal activity, they're not 5 generations.
No.
That people move too much. So to have that connection and to see the wow, everything is here. They all know who this is. There's no evil monster here. We're like proving that our loved ones watch over us and that they're not stuck there. They come and go as they please. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is magical. I really wanted to talk about that today because it was such a eye-opening experience for me. I go to some pretty dark places with crazy histories and stuff like that, but I wish every paranormal investigation was that heartwarming, feeling good. It is really sad when you're communicating with a child and they're asking for help and stuff like that. It happens, and we try our best to help, but there's only
Yeah.
so much we can do realistically.
Yeah.
But it comes with the territory. But I like those happy paranormal moments, and I believe we using our equipment in the paranormal field, we can do so much more good with it. We can bring
Yeah.
communities together. We can help people contact their loved ones. Forget the views. Forget having an awesome channel and having a location that only you and your team has. Forget all of that stuff. Let's come together and help the community, help the ones around us. Most of our investigations, I've only paid to investigate one place because we keep it local. We wait for people to contact us. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, I know people that spend big money to investigate some places, and it's not what it's cracked up to be. And to be fair, the paranormal don't happen on command. There's good nights
No.
and there's bad nights. So it's not against those people, that places, but when you're dropping $600, it's disappointing. You still get to have an awesome experience, but that's why a big part of what we do is people reaching out, contacting us, places that no paranormal team has ever been. And that's also like the whole paranormal unearthed vibe. I'm not afraid to go to the place that no one has ever gave a second thought about. If I have someone and they say they have activity, we've investigated quite a few places. You're like, why would this place be haunted? And we go in there, it's going to be a dead night. Nothing's going to happen. And we are always like completely, we did with jumps. We did jumps is the abbreviation for Jersey Unique Minds
Yeah.
Paranormal
Yeah.
Society.
Yeah.
So if I say, just breaking it down. So with jumps, we did an investigation in Philadelphia at a giant pet store next to the IKEA in South Philadelphia, right off of 95. It's called Monster Pets. It's a pet store. Ugh. And there was activity, and we found out a lot of information. We found out that a guy actually came in and he OD'd and passed away there on the floor. And we didn't know that at the time, but as we were going through the Estes method, we were getting a lot of drug use language, and it was only supposed to be one. I didn't mean to, and other things I don't want to say because of
Yeah.
YouTube. But it was coming out though raw, and we didn't understand. We're in Philly. There's a lot of that happening around. We thought maybe there was someone that was just strolling in off the street, but after learning that, we're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And we had other strange phenomena happen, but definitely not a place where you would imagine it to happen.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
I was in New Jersey last summer. I was in Princeton
Okay.
for work, but I did get a chance to. I went to the Princeton battlefield, which is awesome. Of course, I love the history, but Princeton battlefield, and when go anywhere, I have to go to a cemetery. So I went to the Princeton cemetery as well. That's huge, and
The
it's
big one.
it's big, and there's feelings there. I don't know. I had feelings there. I don't know if I have something, but I know I got. You can just have certain places you go. You can feel things.
A vibe, for the
Vibe,
younger
yeah.
generation. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. Certain places you just go there and you don't know what you're picking up, but you just feel there's something different,
yeah,
something out of place. Even though there's no reason you should feel that way,
yeah.
it happens. Yep.
It was a good fun.
Princeton, that's about 2 hours north of me. I'm down basically Alabama part of Jersey. Very country
Alabama.
around here. No cell phone service. We have a nuclear plant, a lot of marshland, no major highways. It's pretty
Yeah,
back, a lot of farmland. So down here in the
yeah,
South. But yeah, so our last investigation with the Act Monster at that farmhouse, it was so beautiful to just see that the paranormal can be used that way. And it was a
yeah,
happy accident because normally people leave and we have our way at it. But I don't know, it's just really opened up my eyes. And like I said, we're really focusing on like interviews, like allowing people to talk. Like I really don't even edit much out. I want to hear people's stories. And I like people to hear those stories, then see the investigation because they're getting it in the same order we are. I
yeah,
I present things chronologically. I have something broke. I edit all the videos. I make film productions, commercials, things like that. But I have to do things like I can't take a clip all the way from here. And even though no one else wouldn't have a clue that I switched them, there's something in my brain like, yeah, I can cut this part out, but it needs to be the part that happened after that last part. Like I
yeah,
cannot, some people, they're really good at it, but no, I like to, because I believe the way the evidence comes in and the order it comes in is valuable and relevant to it. Not just showing you the one thing, showing you everything leading up to that. I think it's crucial for helping people to have a better understanding of something we don't know anything about.
very nice. So one of the questions I had for you, Paranormal Unearthed, what are you wanting your audience to take away from from your channel after watching your videos?
First time I've been asked this question.
Oh,
First, I hope they learned something historically wise. It really is so important to me. I was in a heavy metal band. We were signed. toured with August Burns Red, Ice Nine Kills, all this on CI Records out in Pennsylvania. Our band was called I Am History. That was back in like 2010 to 2012 era metal bands. I was the screamer, came up with the band name. I have always loved history. One of our songs names was King Tut. Tutankhamun
Yeah.
shortened it down. But yeah, always been a big history fan. And I hope that when people watch something, they learn something about that place. Oftentimes, it's not just the place. If I'm able to, I pull in the history of the area. Like when I did Horseheads, New York, I talked about how it got its name from the battle and they left all the horses. I explained the whole thing, how they got stuck in the celery fields because it was all swampy there. And the natives came along someday after they put down all these horses and they found these horse skulls everywhere and they lined them up in a big circle and painted them white. And that's how the town became known as Horseheads, New York. I, I try to work that into that, the history of the area. I've been working a lot with a town called Greenwich, very old town, a lot of history. I investigated the very first Wawa. This town had its own tea party, and the whole place is absolutely preserved, colonial, old, amazing, and the world doesn't know about it. I've been doing ghost tours there, doing different investigations, and it's my like little treasure trove. Blackbeard the pirate used to be there. There's a lot of history in this old colonial port, small town in Forgotten, New Jersey. So I hope people get to learn the history. I hope people enjoy watching it. I want people, it's fun to get spooked. I always say, get spooked. It's fun to get spooked, but to spook someone, you don't need to make something overly scary. Sometimes the truth is spookier than the stuff you can make up and over fabricate. I'm all about like getting spooked and I love to get spooked. My goal, I want to go to a place and just see stuff flying all around. I want something to grab me and throw me back 15 feet. I want to get spooked, but that's one thing we really don't get spooked. Even though I want people to get spooked, we really don't get spooked. And that's a big part. Our only problem is we get overly excited. We not once have we been, we're afraid. When activity starts happening, we get excited. And I actually have to tell myself in my head after I freak out a little bit, like to calm down. It's not out of fear. We're
Yeah.
excited because we can't believe this kind of activity. What is
Yeah.
it? I always say, holy smokes, dude. I'm like, this is wild. This is unreal. Stuff like that. But I just like to have fun with it. And it's really exciting. I get so pumped when stuff happens. I just can't help it. It's in my nature. I especially get pumped when I have a camera in my hand and I record it and I know the whole entire world's going to see it. That's when I get really pumped. It's not just me and a
Yeah.
crazy story, but
Yeah.
that's one thing. And I would probably say that the big takeaway, obviously the history, but like I said, it's more about questions. We ask more questions than answers. So when it comes to providing answers for everyone that's watching this now, if you go and watch, we do provide some answers through our evidence and our findings. We allow that to be the answers, and we take an educated guess of what we think is going on, and we need to get back there to see if we can keep putting it together. But based off of our evidence and what we feel, sometimes this is what we think it is. Could it be something else? Of course. Could it be this? Blah, blah, blah. So I don't think people would really get those kind of answers. Now,
Yep.
my main thing is I want people to watch and I want them to have questions. I want people to have questions. You'll see things, you'll see certain things happening in certain ways. And at the end of the day, devices are just devices. Every piece of paranormal equipment can malfunction and all that. So we like to use a lot of different pieces. And For us, the real magical moments are when you have 3, 4 different pieces all go off at once, or when you have
Yeah.
multiple pieces of equipment validating each other, things that aren't connected in any sort. That's when our flag goes up and we're like, now that's something. Everything else is just really trying to put everything together. And in the way I edit the videos, and we shoot with the lights out in the dark. So it's night vision and a little bit of this. You definitely get like the spooky vibe because
Yeah.
that's fun. I like watching the spooky vibe. I'm not going to lie. I watch all the same YouTubers as everyone else, and I love it. So the vibe's there, but the way Doug and I, the way we talk to the spirits, it's very different. Like, we are so kind and respectful. We don't agitate. We don't provoke. We don't do nothing like that. We honestly try to be really nice people to whatever we're communicating with. And that's a big thing I see in the comments. People say, we love how respectful you are of, what you're investigating, and you're not running out there screaming and this and that. And no, we just want to share their story. And the most insane activity could happen around us. We're not running. I'm there to document it. You know,
Yeah.
if I get thrown 15 feet back, you better believe that camera is going to be in my hand, because that's a $2,000 Canon camera. I ain't letting that bad boy go to the ground. I'll be flying through the air.
Wrapping up, I know we're getting close to the top of the hour
Okay.
now.
Yep.
Where can everybody find you and Jumps, and if they want to connect and
Yeah.
learn more?
Yeah. So once again, I'm Robert Earl White on Facebook. My name is Robert Arasi, which is my father's last name. Long story short, back when I was in the UFO community, my Facebook that I had for 13 years, I did an interview with Laura Eisenhower, the great granddaughter of President Eisenhower. It went viral. I got on the radar. I lost my Facebook page, deleted for no reason after 13 years, lost everything. When I went to go to make a new Facebook, I wasn't allowed to be Robert Earl White. They wouldn't allow me. They kept it down. I took 2 other accounts I had and I changed it for that. They took that down. So eventually I came up with Robert Orasi, which is actually my father's last name. My father's name is Robert Orasi. But Robert Earl White or Robert Orasi on Facebook, you can find me that way. Paranormal Unearthed, that's on TikTok. Robert Earl White on Instagram, you can find me there. But YouTube is where you can see the actual investigations and all of that. And that is on YouTube, Paranormal Unearthed. And Jump Society is Jersey Unique Minds Paranormal Society. If you do Jump Society at the end, or if you just type the whole thing out, it'll pull it up and you'll see it there. So Jersey Unique Minds Paranormal Society, they are the same thing on TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. And you can find us all up in there. But we both post
Okay.
on YouTube. That's where you can see full videos. And for my Facebook is where I just put cool pictures and showing people behind the scenes and all that good stuff. And for the most part, the YouTube is for the full
Full
investigations.
videos. I'll make sure to put everything in the description. If
Perfect.
anyone wants to find anything, find
Yeah,
you
go down
guys.
there. Actually
Yep.
read the description. No one ever
Yes.
does. I know you have to put stuff in there. Does anyone ever read this dang description?
Oh, I wonder that sometimes, but I always put
That,
everybody that I
yep,
introduce,
I
all
do. I
their
do.
information in there,
Yep.
in case anyone wants to. I imagine we'll probably do the collaboration as well on YouTube. You can subscribe to your channel right through this video, actually. And
Yeah,
the option will be there to subscribe to both if you haven't subscribed to either one.
that's a good idea.
That's
We'll collab this and then put it up
yeah,
like that. That's a win-win. Good idea,
yeah.
buddy. You do got the brains, don't you?
It was great having you on.
Appreciate
I
it,
can tell
Turner.
you that we'll probably have you back at some point because I didn't even get to half my questions. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you had some great stories though. I love the stories. If you want to follow Robert's investigations, Paranormal Unearthed and Jumps, both of them, like I said, I'll put them all in the description. Go check them out. If this episode gave you something to think about, hit the like button. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to me and to my channel and its growth. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell so you won't miss an episode. New content drops every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And if you have a haunted story or haunted location, reach out to me. Always looking for a good to have people on. And remember, history never truly dies. It just finds new ways to haunt us. Until next time, keep digging into the darkness.